Hey everyone, today we're diving into something pretty much all of us use every single day, deodorant. But have you ever stopped to think about what's actually the difference between, say, a natural crystal deodorant and the regular antiperspirants you grab at the store? Well, it really all boils down to a tale of two very, very different kinds of aluminum. So let's get into it.
All right, let's be honest. Have you ever had to throw out a favorite white shirt because of those stubborn yellow stains in the armpits? Or maybe you've just looked at the ingredient list on your deodorant and thought, what is all this stuff I'm putting on my body every day? Yeah, if that sounds familiar, you are definitely not alone. It's the great deodorant dilemma, and today we're going to clear it all up. So to understand what's going on, we have to meet the two main players in this story. You might be surprised to hear this, but not all aluminums you find in these products are created equal. Not even close. In fact, how different they are is the whole point.
Okay, so on one side you have potassium alum. That's the star ingredient in natural crystal deodorants. And on the other side, you've got aluminum chlorohydrate. This is the heavy hitter, the main active ingredient in most of the traditional antiperspirants you see everywhere. They might sound kind of similar, but trust me, they come from completely different worlds.
Let's start with potassium alum. The word to remember here is simplicity. This is a 100% natural mineral salt. We're talking about a crystal that's literally found in the earth. It's a single, pure ingredient that people have actually been using for centuries for all sorts of things. Super simple.
Now let's look at the complete opposite, aluminum chlorohydrate. This is not a simple mineral. It's a synthetic, man-made compound. It was specifically engineered in a lab for one main purpose, to be absorbed into your skin to mess with your body's sweat glands. And that right there brings us to the biggest question of all. How do these two completely different things actually work on your body? Because their methods are polar opposites. One is all about creating a barrier on the surface, and the other is about blocking things up from the inside. So, how does the potassium alum stone do its job? Well, think of it like a security guard for your skin. You just wet the stone a little and glide it on. What you're doing is creating the super thin, invisible layer of mineral salts on top of your skin. This mineral barrier makes the surface too salty for the bacteria that cause BO to survive. So it neutralizes odor right at the source, all without ever sinking into your skin. Traditional antiperspirants, on the other hand, are blockers. Total blockers. When you put them on, those synthetic aluminum compounds are designed to absorb right into your skin. They then react with your sweat to form this kind of gel-like plug that literally clogs your pores. The goal is to physically stop sweat from ever getting out.
Okay, so we've got a barrier and a blocker. But what does that actually mean for you in the real world? Let's talk about the results you can see and feel, how they affect sweat, odor, and, our clothes.
This is probably the most important thing to get straight. A deodorant's job is to deal with odor. That's it. An antiperspirant's job is to stop you from sweating. And it's worth remembering, sweating is a totally natural, healthy thing your body does to cool itself down. Deodorants let your body do its thing. Antiperspirants, stop it.
And this chart here just lays it all out perfectly. You've got potassium alum, which neutralizes odor but lets your skin breathe. Nothing gets absorbed, and since there's no sticky residue, you get zero stains. Then you've got aluminum chlorohydrate, which blocks sweat by clogging your pores. And it's that chemical gunk left behind that reacts with your sweat and fabric to create those lovely chalky white streaks or yellow pit stains on your shirts.
So, the big question is, does this simple little mineral stone actually work when you're running around all day? Let's take a look at how you use it and what actual people are saying about it. The whole routine is so simple, but getting the application right is everything. All you need is a little bit of water. So after a shower, you can just use it on your damp skin, or you can run the stone under the tap. Then you just glide it all over for about 20 seconds and let it air dry. It seriously feels like you're wearing nothing at all because it's completely clear and non-sticky.
And look, don't just take my word for it. Here's what one user said. They described themselves as someone who always needs deodorant, and they were just blown away by how well it worked without any perfumes or added scents. See, that's the key. It's actually neutralizing the odor, not just trying to cover it up with a fragrance.
Okay, and now for the ultimate test, right? A teenager after gym class. This review is my favorite. A mom says her 14-year-old son came home after PE, said he didn't smell at all, and his friend just flat out didn't believe him. So the friend literally had to perform a sniff test to confirm. I mean, come on, if it can pass the teenage boy after PE test, it can pretty much handle anything.
And then there's the whole value and sustainability angle. What does this number 12 mean? Well, that's how many months a single alum stone can last. A full year. That one stone can replace up to a dozen of those plastic deodorant tubes that usually just end up in the trash. Pretty amazing. So after looking at all this, the final takeaway is actually really simple. You have a very clear choice to make, and it really just comes down to what you want to prioritize for your own body and your daily routine.
So let's just do a super quick recap of the essentials. The alum stone uses potassium alum, a natural mineral salt. It works on the surface of your skin, creating a barrier that lets your skin breathe. It is a true deodorant. It's all about stopping odor, not about blocking a healthy, natural function like sweating. And hey, the bonus is, it's free of all those synthetic chemicals and fragrances, and it will not ruin your clothes.
And that really brings us to the final question, the one for you to think about. Now that you truly know the difference between a surface-level mineral barrier and an absorbed chemical blocker, the choice is all yours. Do you want to neutralize odor while letting your body do its thing, or do you want to stop sweat completely? Which approach feels right for your body?